Well, 24 hours in politics, as they say, and all that sort of thing, is a long time. And just on Thursday, we were in here having our interviews, and the Chief Minister wasn't available, Mr. Ashford wasn't available. But Friday, and things have changed. And as this goes out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we have lost now Mr. Ashford. And it was his decision. This is quite important. I know you want to make this point. But why has it taken so long to get to this point?
Well, I think, Paul, things have been happening at quite a rapid pace from the release, obviously, of the Tribunal's findings, digesting those findings. It's an extensive report. It does take some reading to properly understand everything that's been written down, and you'll know that on Tuesday I acknowledged on the basis of the Tribunal's findings that there have been shortcomings within government. There is question marks about a number of actions that took place during that, but also a question of how those actions have impacted across government, and we've seen other cases of similar nature, and I think there is now a clear call to proper action to address some of these issues.
Right. Now, his letters does say he was going to go, but couldn't this all been done on time for Tynwald on Tuesday? So you had,
so I met David on Monday,
right.
And David at that point was pretty clear with me that he wanted to resign. I asked him for a period of reflection. The Treasury Minister is a one role where you go and it has to be replaced immediately. Government needs to function under statute, and it is the one ministerial position which you are unable to effectively to take any time to reflect and to determine how things should be shaped going forward. I'm very grateful to David that he agreed that he would find the space and time to do that, to allow for Tynwald to take place, and then for us to have that time to consider how to move forward.
So you didn't want him to go? You said reflect on it? Am I reading this right?
No, I think David and I had a long discussion on Monday. I think, as I said, if the Treasury Minister, it's a very serious matter when a Treasury Minister steps away. That has to be replaced immediately, and at that particular time, I needed some time for reflection, and I think we both needed some time just to reflect a bit more on the circumstances and the situation that he was in.
Now, replacement, you have that organised.
Dr. Allinson will take immediate charge of the Treasury and is the island's new Treasury Minister.
Yeah, that's with immediate effect. So that leaves his space. It's like, this is like, here we go, everyone's moving seats. So who takes over from Allinson?
So I will for the interim period have that assignee just for the short term, whilst we consider what impact that would mean in terms of the team, the Council of Ministers. And as I said, we do need to have a period of reflection in terms of the leadership positions around government, what they mean. The Chief Secretary retired on Monday.
Well, let's just deal with that. That was not retirement.
And as part of my commitment to Tynwald, I said that we needed to look carefully at now what was at the very heart of leadership and commitments from the centre of the civil service.
Okay, so, but this wasn't a normal retirement by any means. It's not. I mean, I know he retired, but from all accounts, I mean, I'll tell you what I heard. The letter was produced, put in front of him, sign it, and go.
No, I think. Look, I think at the end of the day, the Chief Secretary felt, and he felt, and the discussion, I'd been having some discussions with him anyway about the future plans and continuity, felt this was the right time now for him to step back and allow for some new leadership to be brought in to reappraise the position and to move forward. And any large organisation such as the government or institution, when you're going through this process, sometimes, and I think Will Greenhow determined himself that you need to step aside and allow that breathing space, if you like, for people to reappraise positions and to try and move things forward.
Actually, I'm not buying it, that's all. I don't think the public are buying it. This was not a retirement in the normal. You normally give 3 months' notice, and
I don't want to. I don't think I want to dwell.
Don't you want to be honest with the public on this, though?
I think I am being honest with everybody. I mean, at the end of the day, that's happened. I don't think we need to dwell on this. I think the story today is about the Treasury Minister. I think it's about the politics. It's about the politicians. I think there are obviously, the Tribunal has raised a number of issues about civil service. Civil servants have been named. I think the important thing is we act professionally, properly around the whole process regarding those senior public officials. But I think this is about the politics. Those of us who've chosen to step forward, we're up for public scrutiny. David has honourably made the decision that he has made, and Alex will now step into the Treasury Minister's position.
Okay, but there are people, civil servants as such, who were named and whatever in that report, who have yet to give you their future ideas if they're staying or going, or will this be a drip over the next week or two of other high-level resignations / retirements?
Well, no, I don't. Listen, Paul, I think proper process and procedures have to be followed. People's positions have to be dealt with correctly. I told you and I assured Tynwald that we were now starting to go through that process of proper evaluation. The Tribunal's findings, as I said, were concerning, and those sort of findings in terms of the staff are being properly looked at. But we're not and I'm certainly not on the basis of sort of public witch hunt of individuals. It's very important that we follow due process. Those processes are being undertaken and we move forward. But from a political perspective, we've now got an opportunity to push forward some reforms. I've indicated in my statement that we need now to not only look at that leadership element. There is a question mark around governance in departments. We will bring forward now governance codes in order for departments to put on non-executives with commercial experience to hold more to account performance within departments. We will also be re-evaluating the role of OHR in terms of their functionality and the advice that has been given to managers and such when it comes to personnel matters. And we're going to push out those reforms. I've set out delivery dates in the statement, and we're going to take this these findings now and move them to push government into a new space where we're going to address some of the culture issues that have been pervading through for some time.
And there we go. Culture issues. A level of corruption, some people are using this word, within your government, within the whole unit. How can you get this cleaned up? Because it seems to be endemic.
Let's be clear, Paul. I mean, that is not the correct word. I think that I think that the issue is around culture. It's around performance. It's around capability, and I think I also want to be clear. This is, there are many good public servants in government, and many very good performing areas within government, but we have to recognise that we have been slow to act in areas where there's been clear evidence of failures, and that's the important thing. So that's why we are looking at the role of OHR. That's why we're looking at this governance aspect. That's why I indicated now we need to get on with some reforms around the whole government structure, if you like. And we're going to get on. I've laid those out. I'm going to continue to lay those out as we push forward. And Council itself now is keen that we push forward. A lot of the agenda in any case was indicated in the Ireland plan, but we want to firm up those plans and get ourselves into a better position, both from culture but also from performance and delivery within the next 12 months.
But the report had so many disturbing issues, and I know you're going to throw sub judice at me any second now, because people allegedly have done things that they really shouldn't, messing with evidence, not producing evidence, data being messed with, people, quote, I think I actually heard it in trouble, spying on her, at occasions. This is deeply worrying, isn't it?
Well, again, it's a very strange situation, I think, to have a tribunal's findings released in this way, and for government to even comment before a tribunal has actually fully settled its process. As well as I understand, there has been the tribunal has yet to reach any decision in terms of, with the parties involved about any settlement. I think there is a process being followed where the government has to review the case itself and understand that and be satisfied that from a government perspective that everything has been put forward truthfully and honestly. And I understand that there are parts still to follow around disclosures. The tribunal wants some more evidence around disclosures, I understand, and indeed I further understand there is a further case that is being related that is being launched. So it's very odd. Normally you would just not comment, but because of the public interest, government, politicians, myself, we find ourselves having to move in this sort of half legal sub judice world, half public interest position. So I'm sorry, I know, and I apologise to people outside, to the public, that this has become this sort of slightly confusing picture, because normally we just would not comment until everything had been completed. I want to say, though, to you and to everybody else, as I did and to re-emphasise the statement that I made on Tuesday, I acknowledge the shortcomings that have been brought forward as a result of these tribunals' findings. And the Council of Ministers, are determined that we will now use this moment to push forward significant changes within government to deliver for everybody an organisation that they can be proud of, an organisation that is functioning well, is dealing professionally with issues, and is also a place to work that employees themselves feel proud of. And I think, just before you move on, I think the other point to make here is that, in any organisation of 7,500 people, there will be issues, given all the front-facing elements out to the public, and also the internal staffing issues that you might find. The important thing is, from a culture perspective, from a performance perspective, matters are dealt with professionally, and we need to have confidence that matters, when they arise, are dealt with professionally.
Laurie Hooper, is he secure, or will you have to look at his position because of the findings of this report? Are you happy to keep him on board? He couldn't say anything. Yesterday the interview was completely. You have confidence in him,
absolutely,
to do the job.
I don't understand, quite where all this call is coming from in respect of Laurie Hooper. But the ministers are all doing very good job in very difficult circumstances. Laurie Hooper is, engaging properly to resolve a number of issues in the Department of Health. I heard his interview with you yesterday. He's clearly recognised that this is an ongoing issue within the Department of Health, particularly. But we've set out our objectives in the Island Plan, and we're going to deliver them. And of course, along the way, there are a number of issues that we are going to have to overcome.
Okay. And one of those, we might as well do it quickly now. Department for Enterprise, are you going to fold it in? Is this going to be the end of it, by the way? Because I'm hearing that it could be taken easily back into other departments. It's maybe time to remove those.
As I said to you, we are dealing with the issues in a logical order. Clearly, replacing David, it was a priority in order for government to function, in order for the finances to keep working, and for the interim period, I'm going to adopt the position of the Minister for Enterprise.
Well, why not just get one?
And we will over the next week or so consider what now needs to happen in terms of, and whether there's any opportunities to reconsider how Enterprise is functioning. So I think we have to move. Government has to change, and we are now carefully, considerately going through that process on a number of fronts.